The co-bros are waiting for a message from you, so call up and put it on the line. If you've got something to say to Andrew and Luke, it's female time. I got the voicemail line for TBTL. I got the voicemail line, so remember it well. It's 206-414-TBTL. That's 206-414-TBTL. But if you're shy, you can always send an email.
TBTL.
And now, I must ask that small children leave, good women avert their eyes, and men take a stiff slug of circus whiskey. Behold, the most hideous creature of all.
Did he yip or did he yiff?
He said skip, and I said, no, my name's Buddy.
Okay, he yipped. If he yipped, that means hello. If he yiffs, if that happens, well, then you got a problem.
Yeah, you know what? Might have been yiff. Might have been yiff.
You know something? That was pretty funny. You should think about being a comedian.
www.this and www.that. Let's www.explain it.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
That's a tuna, bro.
My name? My name, you ask? Well, it's Luke Burbank.
I'd like to grow a pair sometime.
I'll be your host today, coming to you from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia. Another picture-perfect day.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
I mean, the grass is a little brown, but we have the dandelions are under control, I would say. It's looking pretty good here around the old Madrona Hill studio. And it puts me in the frame of mind to want to bring you all episode 4,533 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
As you may have picked up from that amazing intro package we played, we are once again going to be playing some TBTL voicemails today.
This is my normal voice.
And see how many we can get through on this Friday as we wrap up this little project of cleaning out the closet. And the guy who's going to help us with that, well, he's the longest-running co-bro of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. And this is another thing. He kind of moonlights as...
Please welcome God's one and only voice of comedy.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. I did something rare during your intro, which is I looked over at the screen that you and I use to communicate to each other, and it's got a little video of me there. It's got a video of you there, and I was giving you the Kubrick Stare. I didn't realize I was doing that. Do you know what the Kubrick Stare is?
No, but I'm actually going to I got to get eyes on this now.
So it's like, if you look it up,
is it what Jack Nicholson does?
Jack Nicholson does it in The Shining.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the name of the character who does it in Full Metal Jacket. You know, the heavyset guy who's in the boot training, in the boot camp training.
Vincent D'Onofrio,
he does it like when
it's all he's ever known. It's all he'll ever know.
Exactly. It's when you like look down, you point your head down.
Okay.
Physically sort of tilt your head down, but then look up at the person with your eyes. Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it.
And if you're Jack Nicholson, you kind of like have your mouth open a little bit.
You kind of have your mouth open. And both of those examples.
Does Hal do it in 2001, A Space Odyssey?
I think in the director's cut where you actually see Hal. You see
Does Nicole Kidman do it in Eyes Wide Shut?
Let's look up Kubrick Stare. And I think it's called The Stare. Let's see this. Oh, you know who else does it? Is the old... it's got its own Wikipedia page, Luke.
Wow.
Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange.
Of course.
Head down... eyes looking up, right? So can everybody picture this? If you're not, I'm assuming you can't see us right now. I'm looking for other... Oh, it does look like Kidman does it. But that one's a little bit more pleasant. But yeah, she does look down and then moves her eyeballs up. And ironically, they also put Hal in here as just a big red dot.
Funny.
That is funny. But yeah, it's a real thing.
I saw some online discourse the other day that basically says every single show that Nicole Kidman is in now is indistinguishable from every other show she's in.
What is she in? What's she doing?
She's in about 5 different things, whether they're movies or shows, where she seems to play a woman who has it all. Like she's a high-flying corporate star, but there's something about her life that is not quite working for her. And usually ends up having a liaison with a much younger man. But it's just this idea of like Nicole Kidman is always, she's in some show where she's a person who has it all together, but actually she's miserable. I think it might have kicked off with that Big Little Lies or whatever.
Yeah, which I did not see that one.
I watched it. I liked it a lot, actually.
Now, was she in the Little Fires Everywhere adaptation? Because I read that book, but I never saw the Hulu adaptation. You know, the thing that she was in recently that might fit into what you're thinking about was a movie, like an actual like theatrical release. We know that she loves theatrical releases because even Heartbreak feels good in a movie theater. But the whole thing was she was a very high, or she plays a very high.
It's like Baby Doll or something, right?
Yeah, and she's a powerful businesswoman who, like you sort of said, it's like kind of has it all and is a badass, but then sort of starts a liaison with a young man, a much younger man, I should say, who is, I believe, maybe works with her. But the thing about it is, and this is where it gets real saucy, is I think she likes to be dominated a little bit.
Yes, right.
You know, and so it's like this
that's
sort
their
of
whole vibe,
yin and yang of who she is.
Yes.
You know, on the streets versus the spreadsheets, as they say.
It looks right. What is it? A freak in the sheets, a freak in the spreadsheets, a Nicole Kidman in the streets.
Yeah, that's exactly what they always say. I think.
And they say it just like that.
They say it like that,
it
with a little
right
bit
off the tongue,
with some hesitation and a question mark.
Some hesitation, a little bit of self-loathing, some embarrassment. By the way, Little Fires Everywhere was Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, Reese Witherspoon, and that was a series they made of that, right? I've never seen it. I read the book. I liked the book. I can't remember who wrote it.
Elena Ferrante or something.
Is that the author of the book? I guess I don't
think
remember
so.
that.
I haven't read the book. But
it takes place
actually,
on the east side of Cleveland.
Celeste Ng. I don't know where.
Oh yeah. That's right. That rings a bell. Yeah.
What's the Ferrante one? She's like the Italian writer.
That I don't know.
Who I think does a bunch of these. What are her books?
You're looking it up, right? You're not asking me because I am unfamiliar with this world. But I'll give a plug for Little Fires Everywhere, the book. I don't know about the show they made out of it, but it takes place on the east side of Cleveland, and so it had a bunch of
Shaker Heights.
Shaker Heights. So even though
that's where Coach Ben is from, of the TBTL Little Sluggers.
I forgot about that. Right? Yeah. And so it was interesting. I learned about Shaker Heights. I didn't know it was like a planned community. In fact, let me give you a little. Can I tie this to garbage collection here, Luke?
Yeah.
This is something I learned. So when I was living with my dad in Lakewood, Ohio, which is on the west side of Cleveland, but kind of near west side, I guess, we had garbage service where the garbage truck would come and then little scooters would be like little golf carts would be dispatched to our backyard. They would go up your driveway and grab the garbage cans and empty them. Like you did not put your garbage cans out at the curb. The city comes up into your driveway to empty your cans. And I always thought that was really cool.
White glove service.
Indeedly do. And what I learned in Little Fires Everywhere, because apparently this is true of Shaker Heights as well, is when Shaker Heights was built as a pre-planned community, it didn't just like kind of grow up naturally around something. They planned everything out, and they wanted everything to be very pristine and look a certain way. And that's why they implemented that as well. They didn't want a community where on a certain day of the week you drove down a street and you had to look at all these unsightly garbage bins. And so to that end, they said, keep your garbage cans where we can't see them, and we'll come and empty them for you.
Nice. Pretty fancy.
And also a little, I think there's a
little hoity-toity,
a little dark edge to that as well, I believe.
Well, I became aware of the neighborhood of Shaker Heights because I used to be obsessed with a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon reality show called Project Greenlight. Do you remember this, Andrew?
I do remember it now that you say that.
It was such a good show. It was basically, I forget what it was on, maybe like IFC or something. Was it still happening?
That sounds
back
right,
then?
actually, yeah.
And so I was like, I think Matt Damon was in on it. I definitely know Ben Affleck was part
because
of it.
they were like, because they had earned their reputation as filmmakers from Good Will Hunting, right? And so they're going to green light other aspiring filmmakers.
So, but it started out with, and also at this time, I was like a 23-year-old aspiring filmmaker. I didn't aspire that hard. I mean, I guess I made a movie. I made a documentary. But like, so I was really just into this whole thing. And so, yeah, it would start with all of these, directors and writers pitching their movie ideas. And then eventually they'd pick one. And then the movie would get made. They would actually make the movie. And the reality show revolved around the making of the film. And it's really fascinating stuff, actually, just to see what actually goes on and all the challenges and the budget stuff and just all of it. But the movie, one of the seasons, the movie that won and that they made was called The Battle of Shaker Heights, starring Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, really?
A then relatively unknown Shia LaBeouf, although maybe he'd been on like the Disney Channel, so he was probably known by like Addie. But to people like me, he was kind of an unknown, and he was the star of this movie called The Battle of Shaker Heights that they made as part of Project Greenlight.
Do you know that Project Greenlight was originally called Little Aspires Everywhere?
I wish they would have kept going with that. I wonder if I was the only person watching it.
This is a rude thing to say, and we should actually turn to the voicemail wheel here in a second, but this is a rude thing to say, and it just sort of sounds like, I don't know, maybe kicking a dog while he's down, although I don't even know if he's down right now. But it's you telling that story kind of reminds me, it's kind of nice to live in a age where we don't have to talk about Shia LaBeouf as much as we used to. I feel like there was always some reason we had to talk about him, and usually kind of complain about his antics. Because remember, like, even when he kind of like stepped away from some of the big screen stuff, then he became like this like artist guy, but he was always in your face with some sort of viral. Didn't he set up like sort of competitions for people to like, wasn't he hiding geo devices somewhere? And I don't know. Does any of this ring a bell to you? And why am I talking about it if I'm saying that it's a nice time that we don't have to talk about it?
I know that he's gotten deeply into like Catholicism now.
Oh, interesting.
So I think he's sober, which the sense I have is that that's helping him out a lot. A lot of his incidents that were going on, would he be under the influence of something? But he's like, yeah, he's just become like, he's become America's #1 guy to go on John Bernthal's podcast and talk deeply about things, although it's questionable how deeply he actually thinks about things. So, you know, that guy who was on like The Walking Dead and he's in a bunch of other stuff, John Bernthal, you know who that guy is?
I don't know the name, but I'll bet you if I look him up. If he was on the first season of Walking Dead, I know him.
And he has kind of moved. He's a sort of like interesting because he has a podcast and it's manosphere adjacent, but it's, as far as I can tell, it's not political. And I don't know what his politics are. My guess would be they're actually pretty good. He seems like a good dude to me. But his space that he's carved out is like dudes of a certain age just getting real with each other. And like, I feel like Shia LaBeouf is constantly on that show and he's constantly just getting real and getting real deep and talking about, like, I think Shia LaBeouf just finished filming a movie where he plays some kind of a monk or some kind of Catholic figure. And he's kind of like, you will see Shia LaBeouf these days, like with a huge beard and long hair. And he's like wearing a wood cross, like, I think that's the mode he's in these days. But I'm with you. I think that the world is a better place if Shia LaBeouf is doing well and if we don't have to be hearing about him constantly.
I'm going to be rude to another actor. Looking at John Barenthal, he played this character named Shane, who I don't think, he was in a couple of the early seasons. A lot of the, as you might guess, given the plot of the show, you lose a lot of characters to, zombies and people who are afraid of zombies and other people. But I remember, like, I can't believe how much of that show I watched The Walking Dead because I remember giving up on it and saying, God, this feels like when I finally deleted my LinkedIn account. Like, why didn't I do this so long ago? Like, I was dragging around. I was like, I gotta watch The Walking Dead, and I probably watched like every episode of at least the first 4 seasons or something. I stuck with it, and I hated it. I thought that this guy was the worst actor. I couldn't. He was. I'm just taking I'm sorry, Luke.
Wow.
I'm taking everybody down today. He came from the Jennifer. Who is the Citibank spokesperson? Jennifer.
Actually, a former wife of Ben Affleck, by the way, Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
Back to
I feel
Ben
like
Affleck
they went to the
today.
same school of acting, which is just wrinkle up your forehead as much as possible.
Yes.
Just the
mostly
school...
while sitting in a cop car. If I remember from the first season of Walking Dead, isn't he a cop?
I didn't remember that. It was post-apocalypse when it starts. So yeah, maybe that does. Maybe he was.
Maybe he was like a former cop or something.
Actually,
I feel like there was a lot of
I forgot about
intense
that.
scenes of him sitting in the cop car.
Always being very intense. I had some tape here that I really don't want to play, but I'm compelled to do it. This was Shia LaBeouf. There was some viral video that went around where he was in front of a green screen yelling motivation. Do you remember this? It was really annoying. And I have 9 seconds.
Thinking of Old Dirty Bastard.
This might have been, you know what? He was trying out for the Mr. Ed show.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it!
Make your dreams come true.
This is
That'll
probably
help.
like 2013 or something when I'm pulling everything that could possibly be a drop. But pretty quickly you'll learn like you don't want to hear this in an intro
it's
package.
unpleasant
It's
on the
very
ear.
unpleasant. But I saved that one. But that was like a full thing of him standing, I believe, in front of a green screen with nothing on it. Like him just standing in front of literally a green screen, screaming motivation like that.
Did we get any clarity on what product, service, or institution was being promoted?
I don't think it was a promotional thing. I think it was just some viral thing. You mean with that motivation?
Like maybe, well, yeah, like I didn't know if it was for like a fitness app or if it was for some kind of betterment program. It just Shia LaBeouf just got up one morning and said, I should probably just yell into this camera to kind of get people hyphy.
Well, now I don't know how much I want to do this, but here I guess it's a full minute long. He's
Okay.
wearing just a black T-shirt and black pants, and he's just screaming motivation. Maybe he's like this is his DJ Khaled moment, but it was original video by LaBeouf, Ronco, and Turner. I think he just was like. He was like getting arty and stuff and just creating content. I don't think this was like a tie-in to Nike or anything like that, even though it is called Just Do It. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep playing it. That's what
No,
I was
I mean,
waiting
if you
for.
want me to, I think it's going to be kind of awful, but let's just.
I think it's funny if it's not Nike related.
Just
You know what I mean?
do it.
Like,
Don't
it's
let
pretty.
your dreams be dreams.
Yeah, that's it.
Also, I'm now getting eyes on this. This is at a time when he had a pretty long ponytail.
Oh, really? I'm
at
only
his
seeing it
shoulder.
from the front. I'm like, oh, it's coming over his shoulder. I didn't even see that.
Yes.
That is interesting. I was like, how did you see him from behind? When you have a ponytail like that, you throw it over your shoulder like a continental soldier, right?
You sure do. Does your hair hang low? This was
Exactly.
associated with someone named Luke Turner, who is an artist. So if you click on there's some links with the YouTube where you can. And this guy seems to be somebody who's uses a lot of like written word and things like that to sort of inspire people, and I'm guessing that was their collab on that. Okay.
Yeah, they had a website called LaBeouf, Ronk, and Turner, and I would click on it, and it is
That's the law
no
firm
longer...
that represented me in my third divorce.
Yes, and you said...
LaBeouf, Ronk, and Turner.
And I think you said, I'm not sure, should I get a divorce? And they said, I think this.
Just do it. Do it.
Yeah. All right. That's awful. I'm closing that tab. I'm deleting. I'm burning my computer. Can you spin the wheel and I'll play a
I
voicemail?
sure can. Here we go. Andrew, I say this with my whole chest. Just do it. Tell me where the wheel stopped and what voicemail we're going to be hearing.
Well, if I'm seeing this correctly, it looks like it stopped on Jake. I don't know if you can peek around there. Does that look like Jake? Yeah, that says Jake. Sorry about my handwriting. Oh, my God, my handwriting. I think I did this one
You should be a doctor.
late at night.
Do you remember that joke?
Because
Remember
of
that joke?
prescriptions?
Yeah, like I feel like that's also something that's really gone away as we've modernized. Because I remember growing up just knowing one thing truly in the core of my being, which was that doctors had bad handwriting.
Yeah. Now they have bad my charts. Like,
Yes,
oh, you should
precisely.
look at my chart. I can't even read my own my chart. You should be a doctor. All right, so here's what I think is interesting about this. It says Jake, and if I'm reading my handwriting correctly, it says doors fail. And I literally don't know what that means. I don't know if
I didn't
this,
figure you for a doors fan.
That's what I'm honestly curious, Luke, because I think this is a really old one. I don't know if we were talking about literal doors that one walks through or closes, or the band The Doors. I honestly have no idea. It just says doors fail. Would you go with me on this journey with
Absolutely.
I'm assuming this is the perfect daddy.
Ahoy, friendo. It's Jake in Chicago. Heard you guys talking about the Doors. I may have previously called in with this story. But
So we were talking about The Doors.
Okay, so this is the band The Doors.
Do you? And I'm not even joking. Like, do you have any I mean, I guess it comes up from time to time, but I have no
You
idea.
sometimes will drop a soft parade reference.
When I was back there in seminary school, that's the first line of the soft parade.
It's the first line of the film. It's got to be on the money.
this story, but I think about it anytime the Doors come up, so my apologies. This is a recurrent story, or whatever the phrase may be. Growing up, my family and I would go camping every Memorial Day to Manistee, Michigan, up north in Michigan. It's a beautiful little forest, right on the lake. Great spot. Somewhere along the lines, we found a forest. You know what? Forgot I called. I realized this story is going to take way longer than 2 minutes. The point is, I don't like the Doors, so power out.
Wow, I probably shouldn't have played that. I didn't know where that was going. I didn't know. That's why it's a fail, because he bailed on the story. I probably was thinking about maybe using that as maybe to end a show or something like that, but I just dragged it all over here. So, Jake, sorry, man. I just put you on Front Street. We never know where that story goes.
But that's what happened. I was interested. What was it, Manatee, Michigan? I was interested in where the story was going.
I was too. And then he's like, forget about it. He pulled out on that, which I kind of understand. Sometimes just kind of like abort. Yeah, I you know what? I'm tempted to blame myself, but I'm going to blame the wheel instead. The wheel said to play that, and I listened to the wheel.
Andrew, this segment is high risk, high reward.
That's right.
Okay, and that's just going to happen sometimes.
It's going to happen sometimes.
I mean, but you know, if we're not willing to kind of put it out there, if we're not willing to take chances, then the show is going to get pretty boring pretty fast. If there's one thing the show is not, it's boring.
Spin it again, man. We got to get this taste out of our mouth, because we can't do this on Monday anymore. This got to be our last day of doing this.
Yeah, I think we've done all that we can in the voicemail space. All right, where did it land?
Oh, look at this. Our old pal Summer says, Summer
our
Ash.
Our
astronomer. So I don't know what this is about, but let's take a listen. Let's hope that Summer completes the thought.
Hoy, friendos. This is Summer Ash calling, and I have been meaning to call for like a week or so, because I, too, am a member of the club of having a splinter and thinking that your body was going to push it out.
Okay. Boy, I don't know if I just pulled all of these voicemails at the time, or if it just really, resonated with listeners that I had that splinter under my fingernail. And so I was really freaked out about it, and eventually it did come out. But back to Summer.
I don't know how everybody else knows that that's not a thing, except for the fact that I know that my body did not push this one out. So I want to be part of the club with Andrew's fingernail and Luke's thorn. My splinter is a piece of carbon graphite composite that came from the nose gear landing door of the X-34 vehicle. So once upon a time, I was an aerospace engineer, and I had to weigh the nose landing gear door, and I slid the outer cover.
This is another story about doors.
See?
If you think about it, it all kind of worked out.
And you don't believe in a Ray Manzarek.
The nose landing gear door, and I slid the outer covering off and slid my finger right alongside and slid a splinter right into it, and we pulled most of it out, and then I thought, okay, it'll just push the rest out. And it never did, and now I just have this awesome souvenir of a rocket plane in my finger, which is kind of cool because the rocket plane actually never got to fly and was mothballed. But I have memories, and that's important. Power out.
Wow, that is astounding. A metal splinter from a rocket plane?
Did you call it an X4?
I couldn't hear. Look up a rocket plane. I'm going to let you Google that.
I'm a rocket plane.
I don't feel like...
Yeah, the Northrop X4 Bantam, maybe? No, that was from 1948. I don't think that Summer was working on that.
Summer is more machine than human at this point.
At this point, and by the way,
because of that metal splinter.
It's no mystery why the thing never got off the ground. The whole weight and balance was thrown off because half of the thing was in Summer's hand.
Well, there were metal splinters all over the place. Yeah. I don't understand how you get a metal splinter. I mean, I think
graphite. She said carbon graphite.
Oh, I see. Carbon graphite. Okay, so that's more like it's a softer material. It's not like a hardened steel.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, that's a pretty cool story, though. It's almost as cool as the thing you had in your fingernail.
Yes.
It's almost as cool as me having a thorn in my knuckle from trying to get a wiffle ball out of a tree. She's like, me and Bert Rattan were retrofitting the plane that he was going to fly around the world in without refueling, and I jammed my hand in the door, and it's still part of my hand now. How is that for an aeronautics poll? Do you remember that as a kid?
No.
The days of Bert Rattan?
I was just going with you on it.
He was a kind of aerospace, like legend. I mean, he'd been like a pilot and all this stuff. But I believe his big thing was he figured out how to fly around the world without refueling. And I think he's from Estacada, Oregon, not too far from where I am right now. I remember as a kid him having some kind of this insane airplane. Yeah, the Voyager. The Rattan Model 76 Voyager was the first airplane to fly nonstop without refueling around the world. Piloted by Rattan's brother, Dick, and Gina Yeager. I bet that's a Chuck Yeager relation. Do you remember Chuck Yeager?
No.
I think Chuck Yeager broke the speed of sound. I think he was the first pilot to break the speed of sound. It's funny because I don't think of myself as a person who followed any of this as a kid, but it must have been trickling down from Walt or something.
Maybe, or maybe you were just, curious about that. It sounds
guess so.
fascinating. Now I'm embarrassed that I don't know this stuff.
This Voyager plane, I just remember seeing it on the news. I think I watched a lot of the news when I was a kid too. So, it was the kind of thing that it would be a big national story that this thing was circling the globe without refueling. But anyway, point is, Summer's story is pretty boss.
Yeah. Well, this winner that I got was because I was helping the $6 million man.
Yes, Lee Horsley.
Lee Horsley.
You and Lee Horsley.
All right, did you
one
want
more
to spin
spin of the wheel?
Again? Just one? Yeah, one more for the whole project? Oh, no.
Got a splinter.
Luke. Oh, no.
Well, now this wheel lives with me, Andrew. I've suffered for our art this week.
Yeah.
And so, Summer, you're not the only one with some kind of a cool story about what's lodged in your hand. Now I've got part of this dang prize wheel.
It looks like the wheel wants us to go to Walla Walla, Washington, Luke, where...
Beautiful home of the Walla Walla Sweet Onions?
I think so.
One-time home of Drew Bledsoe, who was famously replaced by Tom Brady as a New England Patriot quarterback who has triumphantly returned to own a very successful winery in Walla Walla.
I would call Tom Brady a compiler. But anyway, let's listen to what Eric has to say out there in Walla Walla. It says garbage collector booze. I don't know what that is.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? Let me take a guess at what this is referring to. Probably when I was going through my thing where I had accidentally dumped a whole bunch of dust and debris from my vacuum cleaner into my garbage bin, and the garbage collector here left a note saying, "Hey, don't do that. It gets in my eyes and stuff." And so I left him a little gift card for Jersey Mike's as a little apology.
Mike's Way.
Exactly. He did get it Mike's Way.
Hey, dummies. This is Eric in Walla Walla calling. You've been talking about negotiating with garbage collectors. And when I was a student at UW 20 years ago, I was working lawn service during the summers. And my boss had a really elevated lawn service company. We'd go, chat with Dan from Car Toys. He'd come out in an Armani suit and his Converse and chat with us. It was a really fun job. But we were hauling away tons and tons of grass and tree clippings and all kinds of stuff. And we asked our boss, you just put the stuff in the garbage and the guy takes it away? Isn't it supposed to go to the dump? And he said, no. First week we were doing this, the guy totally balked and said, nah, I can't take that. You got to take that to the dump. And so we caught the garbage collector and said, oh, what's your drink of choice? He said, I'm a whiskey guy. I said, what's your flavor? And it could have been Jim Beam. I don't know. So the next week, he's got a handle of Jim Beam sitting on top of the garbage, all this clippings, and he never again had an issue with his lawn debris getting hauled away.
So there you
Power
go.
out.
Okay, there's the power out.
I see. So it's a little bribery.
Yeah, I guess you just kind of keep those wheels turning with a little bit of Jim Beam, or maybe a whole lot of Jim Beam in this case.
By the way, we're bumping up against the end of the show today, but I've got a situation happening out here with the garbage people, which is, I think we've got a garbage guy who is slap happy with that damn grease pencil.
Oh yeah.
Remember how I told you that he wrote?
You hate being hollered at so much.
Sure, I do. I dislike being hollered at. When he wrote on in semi-permanent, I'm sure I could wash it off, but it's still, for all intents and purposes, it's permanent writing on my garbage can that says 3 feet, and it's got arrows, and he wrote the same thing on my neighbor's garbage can. But I was driving down the road the other day, and I saw the same guy's handwriting on a different garbage can that said, out by 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Which...
You had that on yours for a while there. Didn't you? In one of your places? That's the first time I heard about that. Because when I had my issues with them not picking up my garbage in my old apartment, they would claim that it wasn't out on time. And I knew that it wasn't true, which is why I started documenting it on social media. Like, look, it's evening. I have my bins out. And I never got that written on it, but you had told me, oh, yeah, they wrote that on my garbage bins, out by 6 a.m. I think that might have been in, up north.
It's basically how they get revenge on you. Because what happens is, like, you don't get the can out in time, and then you call and you say, hey, they missed my can, and then the people are like, okay, and they send them back out. But the guy is making sure that you know that he knows that you didn't have your can out in time, and then they put that scarlet letter on there.
Yeah, and also
which was a little passive aggressive.
They would charge me. That's what got me. They would miss me. They would miss me with that garbage truck.
Yeah.
And then I would call and say, hey, you missed us. And then they would say, okay, we'll come pick it up. And then they would put a charge on the bill for extra garbage pickup. And it's like, that's not extra garbage pickup when you didn't do your job. You know what? I'm not going to end the week this way. I'm not going to relitigate this.
Let's go out on a high note.
This is in the past. Everything is okay. I like my garbage collector now. He enjoyed the Jersey Mike's gift card because he left me a note telling me what he got the next week, what he ordered at the sandwich place. I don't remember
what did he get again? Do you remember?
I do not. I probably have a photo.
But
of
it was
somewhere.
Mike's Way.
He did get it Mike's Way. Yes, exactly.
I don't know if we have a Jersey Mike's around here near me.
Have you had it before?
I have had it in a pinch, and I think I enjoyed it, in the way that it's pretty hard to go wrong with a sub sandwich.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I do like the Jimmy John's. That's probably for me the top, because they have a really yummy non-meat thing that, it's just cheese and all the stuff, but it's especially good. So I like the Jimmy John's. Although standing inside of Jimmy John's is what it feels like to be standing inside of the brain of somebody who is at a Trump rally.
I've only been a couple of times, and I don't remember having any kind of thoughts about the interior that much.
It depends. I think it's probably location by location. Some go heavier on the jimmy John's isms.
Oh, okay. Is it
like
all these aphorisms?
It's a bunch of aphorisms, but also a lot of aphorisms. Like when you go in the bathroom, like the men's bathroom, there's stuff in there that's pretty misogynistic about just kind of yeah, seriously. It's nothing is wildly over the line, but you can just tell. I can't give you a good example, but there's just a bunch of stuff that's sort of on. It's one neighborhood over from political theory.
Really? I didn't know. Do you have Shia LaBeouf yelling, "Do it"?
You
just
do it in the bathroom at all times, which is why I don't go back to that one on Broadway in Portland anymore. It's really upsetting.
So that's what he's up to.
I think that was Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
It was someone with a beard.
Could have been anybody had a ponytail over the shoulder.
Yes.
I would like to point something out here.
Yes.
Because we like coincidences on this show, or as you like to say, maybe not coincidences.
Yeah.
What did we just have? I deleted them already out of my list, but we had a voicemail from Jake that was, again.
Let's be honest, failure to launch.
Well,
if we're going to stay with the aeronautic and the aerospace stuff.
But what did it mention? Doors.
Yes.
Then we get Summer calling in with a story about a door that gave her a splinter. And then our last voicemail from Eric is a story that took place in the summertime. He specifically said it was a summer job. Each one of those
so summer
built
ash,
upon
so there's
the
a
last.
link.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that we did some really good work today.
Yeah, I feel like we need. I thought that was going to be a better power out than it was. I think.
I'm with you. I see signs everywhere.
Yeah. Mostly in the bathroom of Jimmy John's.
And they're kind of on the line. I'm going to start taking pictures of them.
Please do.
I wish I remembered some of them because again, they're not overtly political, but when you read them, you can kind of tell the politics of the person who highlighted them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
But anyway, all right. Well, listen, that was real fun. But on Monday, we'll get back to sort of more regular stuff.
We got to get back to regular stuff. But what we got to do is we got to get back into playing more voicemails at the end of the show.
Yes.
And that's on me. It's on both of us in different ways.
Well, thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for spending this week with us. We will be back here on Monday with more Imaginary Radio. In the meantime, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay cool, go Mariners, and please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Ahoy, hoy, boys. Oh, love the new outgoing message. Well done. This is Alicia in Boston. I just had something happen yesterday, and I need your thoughts on it. So I
Had an issue with my car. I got into my car. I got one of those scary warning lights about the charging system not working, and it actually told me stop, pull over in a safe place, and look at the owner's manual, which, great. So I called AAA. Turns out I needed a new battery, relatively simple thing. So great guy came very quickly. Shout out to Corey at Assured Collision in Walpole. God, that doesn't sound right. Assured Collision. That sounds kind of backwards, doesn't it? But I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Great guy. And he did all of the work fixing the corrosion, removing the old battery, putting a new battery in with the car running. And I even asked him at one point, you want me to turn that off while you're working on it? And he said, no, it's all good. I actually prefer it this way. What am I missing? Isn't that a bad idea? I mean, I trust Corey. He got me going again, but it just sounds wrong. Anyways, thanks for all you do. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey guys, Ian in Tacoma. Wanted to give a rare put up and not a put down. Luke was absolutely right that the double-bladed helicopters are Chinooks, and the blades are actually rotating in opposite directions. Because of that, the Chinook is actually one of the fastest helicopters in the world. Anyway, really useless information, but there you go. Love the show. Bye.
Wow, nice snazzy new voicemail you guys have. I just wanted to share something that nobody else could appreciate. I was watching a Flight of the Conchords episode. The guys are sitting at a table talking in their apartment, and I made my husband pause the episode because, sure enough, Brett is wearing a T-shirt that says Trachtenberg Family Slideshow Players on it. And that was just the whole thing that I had to explain to my husband while he sat there with glazed eyes, waiting to start the show again. So, thanks for all you do, and power out.
Ahoy, hoy, friendos, Jake in Chicago. What's that drop that ends like... Excuse me, I've lost my train of thought. If this comes back to me, I'll call back later. Goodbye.
Hi, my name is Puddle, and I have a joke for you. How do you know a graveyard is so popular? People are dying to get in. Thank you.
Okay, I thought of it. It's the one that's like, he suddenly realized he was talking to me or something like that. I think it's like talking about a radio guy, maybe? Radio guy. I don't know, man. Bye.
Hey, so excited that you'll be in Wisconsin. Just south of my hometown. This is Jennifer from Aurora, Colorado. And I am originally from Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. And so I know that you're going to be not far from Hodag country. A Hodag is a mythical beast that supposedly roams the woods of Wisconsin. So watch out. It's like, I don't know, it's a boar, it's a bull, I'm not sure. But it's got like spines down its back. But I do know it doesn't look like an oxen, which is its origin story. Supposedly it rose from the ashes of an abused oxen, which is so dark. Okay, have fun in Wisconsin. Watch out for the hodags.
Hey, dummies, it's Chris from New York, and all this talk you had about surly TSA employees reminded me of one interaction that I had with one at the Denver airport not long ago before I had gone to the airport. Grabbed a brand muffin and put it in my backpack, and the backpack was flagged, and of course I had to go over, and she's like, do you have anything in here that can be sharp? I'm like, nope. I do have a muffin in there. And sure enough, that was exactly why it was flagged. And he goes, pulls it out, looks at it, and says, yep, that'll keep you nice and regular. And then hands it back to me, and I go about the rest of my day.
Hi, business boys. Congratulations on the end of the TBTL-a-thon. This is Ann Louise in D.C., and I'm calling because I'm at a Kurt Vile and Pixies concert, And I only started listening to Kurt Vile because of Luke. So thanks. Have a good weekend.
Hey, boys. It's Maggie from the Middle Shelf. I was just listening to today's episode, and I like that thing that Luke and Bobby Pape have that says, you'll think of something. I really like things like that. Things that just catch you when you're falling. Just, boop, I'm falling. You'll think of something. Okay, cool. Thanks. But I have one. It's actually a daily reminder that pops up on my phone. And I used to watch that TV show called Hacks with Jean Smart, and it's funny. And she said something that caught my ears, and so I put it on my phone, and I listen to it, and I use it every single day. And she said, there's always a loophole. So I've got that in quotes on my phone as a reminder every day. There's always a loophole. Deborah Vance. And it reminds me that, yeah, you'll think of something, and there's always a loophole, and it's going to work out. So, any hoodles or something like that. Power fizzle out.
Power out.